Hello my dear yogi, and welcome to a new podcast of Yoga with Paulina. Today I want to share with you a very intimate subject, why I don't teach very advanced asanas. So sit comfortably or put your headphones on and let's begin. If you are with me since a while, you might realize that all my yoga classes that I teach here on YouTube, I tend to teach in a very gentle approach. Yes, some of them are even called gentle yoga, as they are slower in pacing, as I am addressing them more state of mind or how you should feel than making as many asanas that you can squeeze in one's practice. And this is due to few things. One of them is actually connected with the core of yoga, or what yoga is. So when you take a definition of yoga, or rather the first Patanjali Sutra, it's called Hatha Yoga Anushasana, which means in the now begins the authentic experience of yoga. So yoga is not a religion, it's not a fitness exercise or anything. Yoga is a state we want to find ourselves in. And that state is a state of unity, of bliss, of stillness and happiness. That kind of state we can approach to using different techniques. One of the techniques is the asana practice, or the asana poses, or the effort while you're moving your body, or the movement. Another very important tool, it's actually your mindset, or your yamas and niyamas. Another tool is breathing exercises called pranayama, and a very important tool in yoga is meditation. And I think I even talked about that particular subject in my podcast, Yoga is Not Only Asanas, that I'm gonna put somewhere here so you can click and join me for another podcast. Anyway, yoga is a state of here and now. It's a state of total union of your three bodies, your physical body, your energetical body, and your causal body. Or sometimes we call it of your body, mind, and spirit. Because it's just easier to imagine yourself, and we all have all those three bodies in ourselves. So yoga is also state when your consciousness is free of any fluctuations or obstacles. And these obstacles we also have in three different directions. We have the physical obstacles, whatever it's the limit of your body, or maybe it's your mental obstacle, it's your causal obstacle, or your emotional obstacles. So this is all what we try to address. It's a place when you find stillness, when your body feels good with its physical state. It's when your mind is clear, you have no fluctuations in it, you don't have what is called a monkey mind, or like something talking behind your ear all the time, or some people like Joe Dispenza calls it a program, or a habit, or negative belief system. It's also free of modifications in your heart, so your emotional one, and that's very connected with your causal body or with your karma. As we know, in some beliefs there is reincarnation, or some stuff we might get it through when you were in your mom's womb. So these all are actually creating who you are, like the physical, mental, and spiritual state. And when your body, mind, and spirit are free of those fluctuations, free of those obstacles, and you can find that state of complete stillness without anything or anyone talking, with like being united with who you are, with your purpose, with your body, you can feel yourself and be true with yourself, that is a state of yoga. And as I said, you have many tools that you can arrive toward that state. So that's first of all, yoga is not a physical exercise or a spirituality. It's this very vast and very old as well system that teaches you how to get to that state using a lot of techniques, as I stated before. And just ask yourself if you can arrive to that state during a yoga practice when I tell you, and now let's do a headstand or handstand or a crow pose or like a split, or while you put your leg behind your ear or behind your head. Let me tell you, most of the people would have a panic attack immediately. You know why? Because most of my students, if not all of my students, they are not fitness teachers, dancers, acrobats, or sportmen, or sportwomen, or sport people. They are people working 9 to 5 in their corporate jobs or sitting jobs, sedentary jobs, and they're just trying to get by in this hectic, busy, rat race world that we all live in. These are people who are very stressed, and that stress creates limitations inside their bodies, either because of some pain here and there, physical, or because the emotions are tensing fascia or muscles, or because of some previous injuries that they used to have. So when I tell them to do a very advanced asana, instead of giving them that state of bliss and being like, yeah, let's do it, they're having a panic attack. And I don't want them to take out of that very comfortable spot that they found themselves in while being in my yoga class. That's why when I teach a very advanced sequence or a long vinyasa flow, I tend to do like 20 minutes of a warm-up to prepare the body for that particular sequence or for some particular asanas that might be very physical, very efforty, that might take a lot of action. Sorry, this little guy. So as you see, my approach is completely different than yoga teachers who are just standing there and telling you, now do this, now do that, now do that, now do that, and now if you want, make a handstand or headstand. No, for me, it's very important to keep you safe, to keep your body in well alignment, especially your spine well aligned, because not only then you are very happy and that is preventing from any other injuries, especially spine injuries, but also when the spine is aligned, your chakras are aligned as well, and your energy can flow freely without any obstacles. So that's one of the things. I'm not teaching very advanced asanas because my students are not ready for them yet. And in the very beginning of my practice, actually I still do it, I tend to teach those advanced asanas 1 year after a regular practice with me. So we exercise some core strength, some spine strength, giving my students cues about the right alignment for their joints, for their pelvis, for their spine. And when we have strength in the body, when they are feeling well in some asanas, then gradually we can go a bit further, addressing a headstand or a plow pose, shoulder stand, and so on. Yeah, a lot of them are inversions. It's true. So that's the first part. I don't want to take them out of their balanced state, and I want them to bring more that balanced state, because we're off balance most of our lives due to the hectic living, due to a lot of stress, due to squeezing a lot of activities during a day. And yeah, we're just bombarded with so many stimuli on everyday basis that if on yoga I give you hundreds of asanas and I bombard you with a very squeezy and juicy vinyasa flow, it might also take you out of your balance. And we don't need that in life anymore. We actually need to slow down and give ourselves a break of thinking, making, doing, and acting. So this is why I tend to teach gentle yoga or like healthy spine yoga, which has a very individual approach for individuals who have problems with their spines or want to keep their spines in good shape for longer, or even in my yoga lattes, or like make a very long warm-up to prepare for something that is more efforty and more active than what I usually do. So that's the first part of why I don't teach those advanced asanas. And another why is my body. As a yoga teacher, before I teach something, I like to do it myself. So then I know which muscles work, which cues or which parts of the body I have to address to be comfortable, to get safety into the pose, but also get out of the pose in the safe way. Which parts of the bodies I have to tense and which I can release. Yeah, how to do it in a safe way, because your safety as my student is number one in my teachings. And when I cannot do that due to my own limitations, due to my own issues and injuries I had in my previous career as a dancer, it doesn't allow me to teach it in a safe way, because I don't know. I cannot show it, I cannot explain it, and this is why I tend to not teach it, especially if one of my injuries renews and then I have problems with my wrist or with my knee or with other stuff. Then you really have to be careful, because this body, it's a container that holds your soul till the end of your days. And if I don't treat my body well, I cannot teach yoga well as well. Oh, that's a lot of wells. So as you see, my limitations also make me avoid these very advanced asanas. And I remember at one point, well, during COVID, I had this urge to learn how to do a handstand. So I was doing a lot of handstand preparation and asanas to keep my wrist healthy. And what did it do? I actually injured my wrist. And this is why I have to be really mindful and careful whatever I teach and whatever I do. And now imagine if me as a yoga teacher who used to dance before, I have those limitations and problems. How can normal people do them with ease? Like, it's just impossible. So if I don't have it anchored in my body, it's gonna not only take me out of my balance while I teach it, but I also can teach it in an effective and efficient way, and safe way, of course. So these are two reasons why I tend to go into more gentle approach, to have longer periods of a warm-up, to have to address each part of the body, to have a big emphasis on good alignment, and to put aside all those very advanced efforty asanas that might take me and you out of balance. So these are my whys, and I hope this description, this podcast, showed you what is also so important. It's important for me, and it should be important for you as well. And if you like that natural, gentle, and safe approach to your yoga programs, check my yoga channel and subscribe to it, as I'm sharing with you one yoga class a week to help you find more balance in your life. And you have different practices, starting with vinyasa flows to hatha yoga, gentle yoga, yin, and meditations. Every week something new, so you can try different techniques as well. Plus, I know that even if I'm in a good state, if my body is in a good state, I don't particularly have an urge to do a power yoga or a very long vinyasa flow, sometimes I wish to do a short yin yoga practice or a meditation, because this is what my body and my mind craves. So that would be all for today. I hope that you like this short podcast, and if you do, please subscribe to the channel, and see you next week on the mat or beyond. Thank you so much, and namaste. Bye bye.